Moving right along to number 5 and the rest of our worksheet, we are going to write our translations without multiple choice. So this is where your transformation rules, again, that you copied down from our page earlier, may be helpful for you to decide if it is or is not something, if you don't visually see them already. Your Delta math for today might help you as well with that practice. So if it's not something that comes easily, just take the notes and you will get the practice today on Delta. And again, always reach out if you still don't understand. So biggest call out is make sure you find out what your starting figure is. So the one where the letters do not have the apostrophe, the not prime. So you're starting. I'm going to pick a coordinate just because I feel like it's easier that way. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So S is going to be 4. Did not go up or down, so 4, 0. I like translations the best, so I always check them and hope for them first. So up 3 over 2. There's S prime. That looks good. R is up 3 over 2. There's R prime. And then Q is 1, 2, 3 over 2 as well. So it does look like we have up 3 to the left 2. And then to write that rule appropriately, we're going to start with X, Y. And the transformation is going to be X plus or minus something, and then Y plus or minus something. So since it is up 3, that's going to be dealing with our Y value. So the Y value is going to go up 3, which would be plus 3. And then our X value controls our right and left. And so since it's left 2, that's going to be minus 2. So X minus 2. But the XY in parentheses, arrow, X plus or minus, Y plus or minus, close parentheses, could be a form that you could always write in the event you think it is a translation, because those are non-negotiables. The only part that you change is the 2 and the 3 in this example. They could be any numbers depending on which direction the shape moved. So looking at number 6, E is up 4 and to the left 2, and B is definitely not up 4 and left 2. So translation is off the table. I'm going to pick a point, make sure I'm looking at B and not B prime, because B prime is right here. So B, I have 2, 0. And B prime, it looks like is negative 2, 0. So if I'm looking at that, that means 2, 0 became negative 2, 0. So the A's and B's stayed in the same place, or X and Y values stayed the same. The front one just became negative. So if I'm looking at my rotations, X and Y, and then they both became negative, which could be a thing. So we could check that 180. X and Y, they switch, which is not what happened here. And then again, in the 9270, they switch as well. So 180 rotation could be something that would be a thing. So we'll check another coordinate. So C, which is 3, 3. If that was right, then C prime would be negative 3, negative 3. So negative 3, negative 3. That's look good. Because that 180 clockwise or counterclockwise rotation is A, B, and they both become opposite. The 0 is not necessarily the easiest to see that opposite, but we'll check one more. So D, I've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0, 5. And so if it was 0, 5, it ideally would be 0, negative 5 to continue that pattern of a rotation at 180. So 0, negative 5, which is indeed, does prove a rotation of 180 degrees about the origin. So it would be rotation 180 degrees about the origin. For that one would be the correct answer. So looking at number 7. So this guy definitely did not just slide, because the triangles have flipped directions. So your X prime and V prime versus X and V are in the same, but our W over here and W over here looks like a reflection. So we're going to check reflection first. So that would mean that all these points would have to mirror over. So V is 2 away, V prime is 2 away. So it's 4 total. So the middle of that is going to be Y equals 1. And then W is 3 away, 3 away. And then X is 2 away and 2 away. So it does appear that that would be a reflection across the Y equals 1. So reflection, Y equals 1. Right, so number 8. This doesn't look like a flip because these are the exact same. C lines up with C, B, B, and D, D. Make sure you're traveling from the original, so your B to B prime. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 straight up. C is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 straight up again. So this is going to definitely be a translation of 4 up. So that means as a sentence, you would write translation 4 up in our XY notation. That means I have X plus or minus something, Y plus or minus something, and I'm just stacking them because I ran out of space. So it's X did not go left or right, so it's perfectly fine. It did go up, so up 4. So these ideally on your piece of paper would be side by side, and there would be a comma in the middle. And that would, in this closed parentheses and open parentheses would not actually exist at all. If you read it right, so it'd be X, Y, X by itself, and I just parentheses it again, sorry, Y plus 4, close parentheses, as a comma. So again, you're just writing this as that coordinate. So those parentheses are non-existent to write that translation of only moving 4 up. Number 9, it's definitely not a slide because the shapes completely switch directions. I'm going to identify my starting shape as this one because that's my T and my S without the parentheses. S prime is above that S, so 2 up. So starting T prime is not 2 up, so that's definitely not a translation. In my opinion, I see where it looks like these are 1 to 1. This is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then use on itself. So it is going to be a reflection across the x-axis. So reflection across the x-axis. Last but not least for this video, number 10. It looks like these shapes look exactly the same, and by the same, I mean they didn't turn in any direction. It looks like we've just slid them around on a piece of paper as if they were a piece of construction paper loosely. So C, this is my, and I just colored in the not starting one by accident again. So I want to notice C versus C with an apostrophe. So this is C prime here. So that's the after translation. So it went up 3 and to the left 1. D went up 3 and to the left 1. E went up 3 and to the left 1. So up 3, left 1 would be your sentence structure. And then as we write it as X, Y, so up 3 is going to be your Y, so that's plus 3. And then to the left or to the right is your X, and it's to the left, that's going to be negative 1 if you think of that X as a number line. All right, guys, next video, next problems.